How far can the boundaries of war be pushed before deterrence breaks down? This is the question at the heart of Russia's latest nuclear maneuvers, a calculated display of power designed to reshape how the world thinks about conflict and escalation in Ukraine. On May 12, 2026, Russia began large-scale nuclear force exercises. 64,000 troops, over 200 missile launchers, more than 140 aircraft, and 73 surface warships mobilized across land, sea, and air. 13 submarines joined them, 8 armed with nuclear-tipped intercontinental ballistic missiles. For 3 days, Russia practiced the preparation and use of nuclear forces under the threat of aggression. The message was unmistakable. This was more than routine readiness, it was nuclear signaling on a grand scale. These maneuvers did not emerge in a vacuum. They began as Ukrainian drone attacks increased against Russia, including a recent barrage that struck Moscow's suburbs, killing 3 and damaging both residential buildings and industrial facilities. As Ukrainian attacks intensify, often with Western-supplied technology, Russia's sense of vulnerability grows. Each incoming drone is not just a tactical threat, it is a spark in a dangerous game of escalation between Moscow and the West. Russia's response is not limited to military drills. In 2024, President Putin adopted a revised nuclear doctrine. The rules are now sharper and more menacing. If Russia faces a conventional attack supported by a nuclear power, it will treat it as a joint assault, lowering the threshold for nuclear use. Warnings to NATO and Europe are now explicit. Support for Ukrainian strikes, especially with long-range weapons or European-manufactured drones, will be met with unpredictable consequences. The recent publication by the Russian Defense Ministry of a list of European factories allegedly supplying Ukraine with drone components is more than a bureaucratic move. It is a thinly veiled threat. These developments are entwined with Russia's cooperation with Belarus. Nuclear-capable Oreshnik missile systems are now stationed on Belarusian soil, their presence blurring the lines between Russian and Allied arsenals. Drills now practice direct cooperation between Russian and Belarusian forces, expanding the scope of potential nuclear use. With every exercise, Moscow is not just preparing for war, it is signaling a willingness to redraw Europe's security map. President Putin's rhetoric has kept pace with these actions. From praising the new Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile to underscoring Russia's nuclear capabilities in every major speech, the Kremlin wants the world to focus on one reality. Russia sees its nuclear arsenal as both shield and sword. On the very day these drills began, Putin embarked on a 2-day visit to China, reinforcing that Russia's nuclear signaling is aimed not only at the West, but at a global audience. The risks of this brinkmanship are profound. Lowering the nuclear threshold makes miscalculation more likely. Each new Ukrainian drone, each Western shipment of arms, now carries the shadow of nuclear escalation. The boundaries of warfare, once thought stable, are being tested in real time. In this new era, Russia's nuclear maneuvers are not just displays of military might. They are warnings, reshaping the lines of deterrence in Europe and challenging Western resolve. The world is being forced to confront a volatile reality, where the logic of nuclear deterrence is being rewritten, one exercise, one doctrine, and one threat at a time. The stories that define tomorrow are already unfolding today. Subscribe to Today in Context for clear, grounded analysis of the events shaping our world, one story at a time.